Hey guys! I just really wanted to make a video today because, well, I just kind of wanted to, and I know the lighting is not great, and I know I don't have makeup on, so just deal with it because this is my video and I'm going to look however I want to. So anyways, I'm going to tell you this SAVEMART guy story. Okay, so there was this guy who I guess worked at SAVEMART for a few years, and I would always go there with my grandparents, and he always would see me. I never noticed him, never saw him, but I guess he was like watching me and stuff. I don't know. Then one day, back in the day, Meet Me used to be called my yearbook. If you've ever been on the site Meet Me, it's basically kind of like a dating site, but not really. Like, he found me on there. Later on, I found out he found me on there on purpose. He was like looking, he saw me on there and added me as a friend on there on purpose. But I didn't know it was him, and I didn't know of him, or that he was SAVEMART guy. So, anyways, yeah. So he adds me. And then back in the day, people used to put their phone numbers up and be like, hey, text me, and I used to do that a lot, and I would go meet up with people. Well, I did that one day, and he started texting me. And he told me that he worked at SAVEMART, and then kept inviting me to hang out, but every time he wanted to hang out, I was busy, and every time I wanted to hang out, he was at work. So he still wouldn't come up and talk to me when he was at work. I still didn't know he worked at that SAVEMART. I still had no idea who he was, like, in real life. So we keep texting all this stuff, and just texting, just having normal texting conversations, and New Year's Eve rolls around, and I was spending it with some friends, and I invited him. When he showed up, it was so awkward. Like, I understand some people are shy, but he literally came in to the party that I was at with my friends, stood there the whole night next to me, and when people would try to talk to him, he wouldn't talk to them. And if I talked to him, he would barely even respond to whatever I said. So I thought that was pretty weird. And I was just like, okay. And at first I didn't find it creepy. I just thought maybe he's shy or stuck up or something, but whatever. So after that, for a really long time, we quit texting each other. We didn't text each other at all. I guess, whenever he was at SAVEMART after that, he made himself noticeable, and he would start bagging our groceries all the time and stare at me like this and bag groceries. And I thought that was really, really weird. And literally one day, I didn't notice this until my grandma pointed it out. We would be going down the aisles looking at stuff, and every aisle we went down, she would look over, and he would be right there, and then she pointed it out, and every time we went there after that, he would, like, follow us around the store. It was so strange and so weird, and I was just like, okay, like, whatever, like, yeah. So, needless to say, it's 2011, and I start dating Aaron. Well, finally, November rolls around, and me and Aaron had been together for a while. This guy tells me about a job at Target because I just got my car and I was looking for a job, so I was like, cool, thanks. Like, so I go to Target and apply, whatever. I get a job interview, didn't get the job, not a big deal. Anyways, couple weeks go by, the interview passes, all that, and he finally sees me at SAVEMART and talks to me again and says something about wanting to hang out. So I'm like, alright, cool, because I don't know, it'd been a long time, and after New Year's, he did, like, follow me around SAVEMART and stuff, but eventually kind of stopped following me around, so I thought, whatever, like, it never hurts to just try and be cool with him. Maybe he was just shy, maybe he was just nervous, whatever. So I hang out with him, and we go on hanging out every few weeks. We would hang out, like, once or twice and just, like, chill. And he usually was pretty normal and pretty nice. We would just talk about random stuff. You know, Aaron knew about it. Aaron knew that we were friends. I thought we were just friends. I didn't know he was trying to get at me, apparently, but he was. And so finally one night, Starbucks is closing, and he says, come to my house. And I was just like, I kind of really didn't want to. It kind of gave me a weird feeling that that's the first thing he said is, oh, you should come to my house, like, blah, blah. So we get to his house, and he introduced me to his entire family. And so that was kind of weird and awkward, and the whole time he was just like, when we got to his house, like flirting with me and being like really weird. And so every time he would flirt with me, I would tell him like, stop, I have a boyfriend, stop, like, I don't want to, I'm not interested in you. And it never worked. So that's my phone. Anyways, so I hang out with him again one more time. After that, not at his house. He tried to get me to go back to his house, and I told him no, I had to leave. So, but even that whole time, he was like flirting with me, and I would keep telling him like, please stop, like, I'm not interested in you, like, or like laugh it off and just be like, no, you know. So finally, he tries to get me to hang out again, and I said, okay, this time, because you were making me so kind of uncomfortable and kind of annoyed with you last time, I'm going to bring my boyfriend along. So he's like, all right, yeah, that's cool, like, bring your boyfriend, we'll all hang out. And so it gets to the day that we're all supposed to hang out, and I'm supposed to bring my boyfriend, and he chickens out. So, well, he doesn't, I didn't know he was chickening out, but he says, oh, I got called into work, I can't. So I tell him, that's fine, like, go to work, like, I understand people need to work, whatever. So, whatever. A few days later, I don't even remember where I was at. I was at some gas station, but he drives by, supposedly was just driving by, and saw me, and comes into the store where I'm at, and I'm like, okay. And at first I thought, you know, people go to stores, whatever, but this is on a complete different side of town than he lives in. Completely different side of town, which he could have been there for multiple reasons, I don't know. But when he came in, he told me, I saw your car outside, so I decided I'd come in and say hi to you. And then after that, he would text me, like, if he saw my car around town, supposedly saw my car around town if he was driving or something, he would always text me being like, hey, I know you're at this place or that place. And that to me was really creepy. So then he tries to hang out with me again, and I told him only if I can bring my boyfriend. And surprise, he gets called into work again and can't hang out. So finally, one night, he's really bugging me about wanting to hang out. So I finally just tell him, all right, come hang out with me. I'm at this and this place. And at the time, me and my boyfriend were at one of his neighbor's houses hanging out. So he comes there. And he gets there, and we all kind of talk for a little bit, and then my boyfriend kind of pulls him to the side and just tells him, like, hey, back off, you know, she's not interested in you, kind of leave her alone, you're creeping her out, telling her, you know, where she's at during the day and all that kind of stuff. So, that being said, after my boyfriend pulled him to the side, he got kind of pissed off and left. So, he leaves. Few weeks go by, nothing happens. He doesn't text me, he doesn't talk to me at SAVEMART, but he does follow me around the SAVEMART and stare at me like he did after New Year's Eve. Like, that was really weird. So finally, one day I'm at my grandma's house, which isn't far from the SAVEMART, it's literally like down the street, and he texts me because there was a Starbucks by the SAVEMART to come to Starbucks after he gets off and we can hang out. And that's where he literally threatened me and my boyfriend, saying that he could have people come and beat us up and all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, and then he starts talking about all these girls that he's having sex with and all this stuff, and that he doesn't use condoms and all this crazy stuff. And I'm just like, is all this supposed to impress me? Because it's creeping me out really badly. So I kind of called him on his shit and was just like, you know, if you're trying to, like, impress me or get at me, you know, first off, threatening me and my boyfriend is not the way to go. Like, if you threaten someone, like, that's just gonna freak them out or make them not like you. And two, if you are having unprotected sex with all these women, if I ever did get with you, what makes you think I would want to be with you? Really? That's gross. So, then after all this stuff, I told him, just act like yourself and be normal, and we can be friends. I start to get up to leave, and then as I'm starting to walk away, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, whatever. So we sit down and we talk a little bit more, and he's actually being, like, normalish. And then he tells me he's a children's pastor, and I'm like, okay, after what you were just saying to me You're a children's pastor, people let you around their kids, like, okay, whatever. So anyways, so finally, I, at that point, just got up and walked away, because literally this guy was just being so weird and creepy and bullshitty that I just walked away. So, after that, whenever I went to SAVEMART, he would never, like, come up to me, but he would always, like, if people were bagging our groceries, kind of stand off to the side and watch and stare at us, and I thought that was really weird. And my grandma started telling me that whenever she would go there by herself, he would tell her things like, make Shelby break up with her boyfriend and get with me. Tell Shelby I want to be with her. Tell Shelby to text me and we can hang out, and all this stuff. And my grandma would always tell him, like, I don't pick her boyfriends, like, and if she doesn't want to be with you, she's not going to be with you. And finally, one day she goes in there, and my sister is with her, and he tells my grandma, how about you hook me up with Shelby's sister? And my grandma was like, what? Are you kidding? Like, no. First off, my sister also has a boyfriend. Actually, her and her boyfriend have been together longer than me and Aaron have. And my grandma was just like, no, and told him she has a boyfriend and is clearly not interested in you either, so please stop. And, but it went on like this for a while, and then he started bragging to my grandma about, I have a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend, and I inherited a house from somebody, I don't know who, and I'm getting a new job, and I'm going to leave SAVEMART. And eventually he did wind up going off, going to somewhere, some other job, whatever, I don't know. But not long before he left SAVEMART, he quit talking to my grandma. So to this day, I don't know where he is. I don't care. Whatever. And SAVEMART guy, if you're watching this, yes, this is about you, obviously. But that was my crazy SAVEMART stalker story. So I hope you enjoyed it.